Very pling plong. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, depending on wherever you are tuning in from the world. We're back with some more music feedback. And we're going to start off our day with a walk us tune, because that is the best way to start any stream, I think, at this point. So, without further ado, let's get going. Great start. Oh, yeah. Love the delay on that. Ooh. Oh, what's up, Sam? Yeah, Dirty Octopus, you're in the queue. Oh, I love this. Wow. Okay. Ooh. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Beautiful. I really, really like this. Let me just put this in here. Okay. This drop is great. I literally have nothing to comment on it. My only comments really are stuff in between. So for me, The thing I noticed immediately is the intro is quite crunchy. It's quite distorted. Like that's fine. I think that immediately gets your attention a little bit, and you're like, "Whoa, what the hell?" But everything afterwards is also has quite a lot of saturation on it. And my only worry is you kind of maybe not lose, but the impact is a little bit too high for the very start of a song, considering where we go. And it's mostly on that vocal chop. I think if the vocal chop was a bit softer here, it would be quite nice. Because everything else, I like the character that the distortion is giving it. But yeah, just maybe something to consider of having this be a little less. But having listened to the whole song now, I like it more. This is great. Super great. The other thing that, or like a cool idea, maybe, is when we do this, I really like the delay. Here, what you could do is halfway through, change the timings from the delay on the left side to the right side. So you, instead of having it be like a sort of ping pong delay, like a just same timing ping pong delay, you could have a ping pong delay where the left channel is doing like 1/2 and the right channel is doing 1/8, so that you get this really distinct difference between the left and the right side, which not only makes the whole build feel wider, but then also is just a little bit different and interesting. And you're like, okay, well, now all of these notes are harmonizing in slightly different places, and it's just different. Because my feeling was this build is fine, but it's a little predictable, especially here. I'm kind of missing a little bit of extra spice or something extra to just make it a bit more exciting. So I would definitely take a look here at this pre-drop fill situation and see if you can just add 1 or 2 more elements. And then the other thing, and this is maybe a nitpick, but hey, when your music is this good, the devil is in the details. This section here. I'm not sure. I think you could have one interesting clap layer here, like a clap or a snare layer that just gives some more character to the section. It doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be, you know, like a dubstep snare. It just needs to be a little bit of something. It could be something like that, just something a little weird to give you a bit more of that, like, ooh, okay, yeah, this is cool. This is something interesting that I haven't heard. Literally just sick idea after sick idea. A really tonal rim sound would be a cool layer. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like Eliminate if he was as good as Walker's. True. I feel like Eliminate would fuck with this heavy. Super, super cool. Thank you for the brilliant submission. He made a Complextro so good, even his Kyokan praised him. Let's go. Complextro, Electro, Complextro. The money emojis. Alright, next up, Dirty Octopus. Presumably with a Complextro. We'll see what flavor this time. Whoa. But that... I like how little we're getting out of this. Is nice. Whoa. Okay, this is an interesting idea. I like some of the stuff going on in here. I'm gonna pick on a couple of things here. One quick one is just I think you shouldn't stagger out the 4 on the floor. I think it should just immediately drop into 4 on the floor here because it's not really telegraphed. Like you don't really know that it's gonna be a fake out, and you kind of just go into it being like I expected the energy, and then it like didn't come, and then it came later, and it's just quite like it wasn't what we expected, but then we didn't subvert the expectation. We just delayed the expectation arbitrarily, which feels weird. Like it went from this to it would feel a lot better. That's one thing. The other thing is this lead feels really flat. Like it's loud and distorted, but it doesn't really have texture to it. So there's a couple of ways you can go about this. One thing you could do is just take this melody and put it onto different leads so that the leads are alternating and they're giving each other contrast on a sound design level so that we get a little bit more switching up. Because this lead constantly going for basically the whole drop, you end up in a place where it kind of just like the notes stop really feeling, and it's more so just like ends up being noise, which is not really where you want to be doing. So the other thing you could do if you wanted to use just this lead, let's say it's a serum lead. In serum, you have a ton of ways to have random modulation. So what I think needs to happen is before this distortion that's going in, there needs to be a couple of different, and maybe even after the distortion as well, a couple of different things that are being shifted around slightly and modulated so that this lead gets some texture to it. So what I would suggest doing, and in fact, I'm just going to open, of course my FL Studio breaks now when I actually need it. I'm just going to demonstrate because I think that's the easiest way. Let me switch to this. Here we go. Yes, I need to update my CRM at some point. So there's a whole bunch of different parameters. We go into this, right? We've got, let's just take our chaos one. So we can route this value to our wavetable position. We could route it to the detune a little bit, and we just make a little bit of detune. Just a little bit of detune, right? Like a little bit of change. So it's like a couple percent here. Then if we have some warping, we could do a little bit. It doesn't need to be a lot, just a little bit. Then we're going to take a different parameter, and we're going to maybe not the panning, because you don't want to completely change the vibe of the sound, but we could even have some like, you know, slight changes in the pitch that then all of a sudden when you play a note, of course my keyboard isn't plugged in either. There we go. Okay, this sounds kind of terrible on this wave shape. Let's just go for... Right, we've taken this like thing that probably without this sounds quite mid. If we bypass everything. All of a sudden it's like, there's a lot more stuff going on. I'm not going to go through and do all of the stuff that you need to do. You can even change the amount of distortion, right? Just like a little bit of like... I'm probably explaining this overly when you guys probably get it, but that's kind of the stuff I want you to do. Can I just double check I actually submitted? Feels a bit dry to me, but the idea is sick as fuck. Got it? Nice. Yeah, you definitely did submit. I haven't. Let me just check that it's working, but I think it is. ITFL.wave. It's interesting because we have no more submissions after this, by the way. It's just like cooked. There's nothing left after this. So if you all have other stuff, send it to me, because I guess I got time. All right, let's take a listen. There we go. Okay, this is cool. My main thoughts on this is, or like the thing I picked up on kind of was that it feels a little two-dimensional. I was thinking like, why is it two-dimensional? Why is it two-dimensional? Because the production is good. The sound selection is cool. There's a lot of like choppy rhythmic stuff. And I think it's the progression. So it's the chord progression, which feels very, it's like two chords. Even if there's maybe a couple of like changes in like voicing, or like one or two notes is different in like the third and the fourth chord, it doesn't really progress beyond that. Like it kind of just goes back and forth. So I think if you want to make this more interesting and more exciting, I would focus on getting that progression to a more better point. Deep talk out here. But I would just work on the progression a little bit. This is something that I was struggling with for a really, really long time without knowing it. And I was like, why do my songs feel like I don't know how to develop them? And I sort of, for another reason, called a friend of mine who I hadn't talked to in a while. He's a fantastic, fantastic improv pianist. Like really, really good, classically trained jazz pianist. And I just asked him, I was like, hey, like I feel like I'm struggling a little bit with this. And then he pointed out, in my case, my issue was that I would never really resolve my chord progressions. So I was never actually letting it end. It was always in this sort of in-between thing, and the notes I would use would kind of remain the same. So even though the chords were actually changing, the song wasn't progressing. We weren't going from one idea or like one feeling or sort of nuance of the feeling to the next feeling to the next feeling. It was kind of staying in the same place. And I get that vibe from this. So I would say take one chord and just like let's just take your third chord, for example. It doesn't all have to be super progressive if you want it to be more spaced out and like just vibes to listen to in the background. But if you can get like one more chord that really just like moves the progression, and you get that feeling of like, oh, like something has changed here, the whole rest of the track is going to get phenomenally better, in my opinion. Yeah, progression is a weird one because I made it from a single chord sample and made the chords a melodyne. That kind of checks out. It's just a loop right now because I did it last night. Yeah, that's sort of a funky spot then, because obviously there's only so much you can bend it. But see if you can't get like one more root note at least changed out of that chord, because if you can, that'd be cool. Ooh, 2.0. Ooh, 2.0. Let's go. Yeah, I kind of see what you mean about that drop feeling like a placeholder, or being a placeholder. It sounds like a placeholder, to be honest. I have like a really weird niche thing. This vocal is clipping or it's like distorting, but only on some like vowel sounds. And I think it's probably just an issue of the vocal doesn't sound completely uncompressed, but you might just want to do a little bit of compression on the vocal before you send it through the distortion, because it just feels like there's a couple of peaks that are like, bleh. It's just like way spiking the distortion. And then other places where it sounds kind of like it's not really making as much of a difference. So I think if you just compress the vocal before the distortion, you're going to get a much more uniform distorted sound. And it also then makes bringing it out of the mix a lot easier. Because right now it's quite buried. Yeah, like sometimes it just goes woo, like it just, you get that like kind of less satisfying distorted digital distortion. I also think that the rhythm here is quite confusing here. Because it feels like the kick pattern is trying to work with the chords, but it just doesn't quite feel right. So I would either change the chord like pattern rhythmically to fit with the drums that you have, or just change the drums. I'm leaning more towards the latter in terms of what I would say would make the most sense. But if you have a certain feeling that you want to go for when you work on this track further, that, you know, is based around those drums, then go for it. It's just right now it feels a bit like confusing. It doesn't really hit for me. To be fair, I may just be missing something. But right now, it just feels like... And then, yeah, generally, if you're saying this is rough, I'm not going to comment too long on the fact that, like, yeah, it sounds a bit rough, but that's okay. The thing is, I like this. It's really the kick pattern that bugs me. Yeah, and it just doesn't really lead into something much with this, where you go into with the drop. So I would change the kick and the kick pattern. Tried a few things to fix it, but never compression. Compression is awesome. I feel kick patterns are something I struggle with a lot. I did as well. And I'm not even sure exactly what I did to fix it beyond... What I do remember is I would take completed drum loops and I would just copy the kick patterns. And at some point, I think you get a sort of understanding that kick patterns are supposed to be really simple in shape. You have certain genres and songs that don't have that really simple shape. Like, they really have a lot of stuff going on. The kick is like doing these weird movements. And I've made a couple of tracks of my own that I really like that have weird kick patterns. But for most of the music that I've made in like the last year, 2 years, it's just been like, I don't think about it too much, because most of the times the drum stuff I'm going for, it's happening elsewhere, not in the kick. Because the kick is kind of supposed to be your anchor. Probably just need to listen to more of the music I make right now, because I'm not really, and it's probably messing me up a bit. You could. Then again, I will just throw this out here. There are a lot of producers that I respect who do not listen at all to the type of stuff that they make normally. They listen to tons of other music. I think my favorite example is probably like Ryan Tedder, who has produced what feels like every single thing on the fucking pop charts for the last 20 years. Because it's like, okay, having your own band that's like giga famous is not enough. I also need to produce literally everything. And even he is like, yeah, I don't listen to pop. Like I do mostly, like I do a substantial amount of pop production. It's like 70 to 80% of what I do, but I don't listen to pop music when I'm not making it. Now maybe that's something where, you know, at this point, it's clear that he doesn't need to figure it out. What I would say is instead of just listening passively, what I would recommend you do if you want to really make improvement is take songs that are similar to what you're making and just bring them into your DAW and just start using the tools you have to examine what does it sound like, what does it look like. If I chop out the kick here, what kind of kick is being used? What kind of kick patterns are these tracks using that I respect and I want to make music like them? Because if you just listen, it's kind of easy to just start enjoying the music. Whereas if you bring them into your DAW, that's your workstation. Like, you're going to start analyzing the track on a much deeper level and thinking about, okay, well, they're using this type of bass, and like, oh, this bass pattern is here that I didn't notice before, or, oh, there's these like percussions in the background. Like, definitely go download a couple tracks and stem split them. Yeah. It seems like not that much fun, and maybe I just enjoy this more than the average person. But once you take a track that you like on like it just like, oh, this is such a cool track and I want to make music like this, you bring it into your DAW and you start noticing weird stuff about it. You're like, I didn't know this was here, and they did it like they used this note, these like combination of notes, or like, you know, you're like, wait a minute, I like that, huh? Okay, interesting. I guess I gotta try that. And yeah, it ends up being quite fun because you just make so many weird discoveries, and not all of them will make it into your music, but even if just a couple of them do. Even if it's just one thing for every song that you broke down and analyzed, you just listen to it, take it apart. Like I said, stem split it, because when you listen to it in isolation, you'll start to hear the components that are making it up the song, and you'll start to be able to reverse engineer them for your own production. I think that's the coolest thing about like stem splitting, is just like the amount of sort of focused listening you can do has changed a lot. Like it's really cool how much more you get to hear of these productions. All right, last one, I presume, of the day. I guess it's gonna be a short stream. That's okay. Is Tell the Truth. And if you don't like Ableton stem splitting at some point, use BandLab's stem splitting because it's free and really good. Okay, here's another example of like the chord not really resolving. It's supposed to go duh, duh. To me, in my head, I'm hearing like duh, duh, and that duh chord is like gonna resolve the whole thing, and then you can start over. I like the drums here. I think the kick is a little overactive. So I would take a couple of these sort of like like cluster together kicks, and I would switch, like the rhythm of it is good. It just feels like it's too much kick. I would just take those and make those something else. So make those little toms or little claps, other percussions. It just feels like it's too much kick, but the root of it is good. Yo, what's up, Bowtie? the vocal melody also feels a little like there's a lot of good parts in there. It does feel like there's some things in there where you just gotta find the core melody and let that really breathe. Because it ends up getting a little, I guess the word in my head is squiggly, where it's kind of, and I do this a lot when I do vocal stuff, where it's like you do like a lot of like experimenting and trying stuff out, and for me it's like you got to get through that until you find the thing, like that core melody, and then like really find the execution of it, and then let that go and run for the whole drop, so that it feels like consistent and nice and satisfying. Vocal was literally the first take mumble lyrics. I know what you mean. Also play another chord to resolve it. Nice. Hell yeah. Mr. ASB, do you got a tune for us to feedback? Please bless us with a song. Because otherwise we're out. It's over. Dunzo. 30-minute stream. Tragedy. Really need to get a haircut. This is getting kind of crazy. And it's not even this. It's like the back of my head. There's just so much hair everywhere. Oh, no ASP song. Sadness. Alright, well. I can send my friends new release if you want. Sure, if they want feedback. I'm down to like listen to one more song. Like I'm really down. I wish I could do like reverse feedback, but the stuff I'm working on right now is kind of on the down low. I'm still developing this new stuff, so. Whoa, a Spotify track. Ooh, this is a... I don't even know if it's gonna let me play it. For now, it's working. Oh, it's this person. Surprisingly loud. I think the drums needed to be a bit louder. But I can hear them, so it's fine. No, the loudness is not a bad thing. Nice, this is cool. beginning and an outro. That's cool. I really like color. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Holy. I would say for this, like, oh, thank you. I think the arrangement is not even long, but it feels a bit loopy, where it feels like this. Is very much just copied over and doesn't really develop. I like all the extensions to the drop the second time. It's quite cool. I don't know, it's not bad, but I do think there are opportunities to do cool, interesting stuff with the arrangement of a song that would have made it a lot more exciting, and also, like, I want to say the word evergreen, in the sense that, like, you can listen to it a ton of times, and it has its own really unique structure. I would definitely consider, like, this is, like, our boy Hans Claire has a really good, really good, like, version of this. Which song was it? Oh my god, Pool Chemicals is out, let's go. Like, Hans Claire is really good at this, like, type of arrangement stuff, where it's like little things of arrangement that make the whole song really interesting while it's still staying, like, on theme. So if you wanted a reference that we know, this would be cool. Like, you can kind of go through each part of the track, and you can go through, and it always sounds a little bit different. There's no points that are kind of copied one to one over, and that's really the thing that sort of stuck out to me, is like, when we're talking about a finished song. Yo, long time no see, how we doing? Yeah, when we're thinking about a finished song, that's something that I think you got to be careful of. It's like, does the arrangement really make sense? Is it exciting at every point in the track? And that was something that was missing for me with this. But really cool. Really, really cool song. Where are you? You got a demo for us? A demo? Demo? Because otherwise, I'm out. I got nothing. I am finito. No more songs. I just keep yawning. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this power project goes. I mean, obviously, I'm excited to see where Sam, you take your music. But so far, I'm liking the idea of a sound. I'd like to see a production stream soon if you're up for it. Yeah, I could be convinced. It's just so interesting because, like, that, especially the last... Recently, I've been doing something very different that doesn't... It becomes less production and it's more composition stuff. So it ends up being like a different vibe than a lot of the stuff we listen to. But I'm down to do a production stream. I'm sure there's something I can work on. Or just start something new. That could also be quite fun. So yeah. You know, I'm into making electronic shit, so that's always been a step ahead of me. Yeah. It always ends up being like that with friends, where you have, like, one who kind of is further along in one thing, and then you get pulled along by the other. Style has changed a lot. That's great. Style changing is usually a good thing, I would say. Because every time that you change your style up, or you develop your style, you're moving into the next thing where you have a lot to learn. And you're also bringing your experience from the last thing with you. So each time you end up becoming more and more unique, your production develops more and more and more. which is one of the reasons why you should listen to a lot of different kinds of music, and also why you should try producing different kinds of music, because once you try and make something, it forces you to understand it on a deeper level, and you start to pick out things that you like from other genres, because you're not going to like everything. You're making the thing you're making probably for a reason. I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll find something and you're like, oh, this is way better than what I was trying to make before. Like, I love this so much more. But usually you just pick out like, oh, I like how this genre does that thing, and oh, this thing is cool from here, or like, oh, this R&B thing, that's great. Oh, this type of like snare drums are really cool, and then all of a sudden you have this new fusion of like bits and pieces that you've picked up along the way. So I always encourage to try different stuff. All right, well, with that being said, that'll be the end of the stream for today. Thank you guys so much for sending me your music and hanging about. I really appreciate it. And we will be back next week. And yeah, we'll do a production stream soon. We'll do it. W stream, hey man, I appreciate it. Alrighty.